Okay, welcome everyone to our very first week of Mindful Mondays. My name is Kristen Chevron and I'm with the Longevity Foundation. Please remember that this session is informative in nature only and we cannot offer medical advice. We will be recording the presentation portion of this session so you can come back and listen again, or so that people who are unable to attend live will be able to benefit from the session. Ben Garcia will be leading the 8-week series on mindfulness. This is an interactive session, so please feel free to ask questions and engage with the group. Now I would like to welcome Ben. Ben, please tell us a little bit about yourself and then we will begin.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm pleased to be with you today. Um, First off, I just want to stress that for any meditation or exercise I lead, please, if it makes you feel physically uncomfortable or emotionally uncomfortable, either don't do it or modify it to your comfort level. It's something that is very, very important for us to be comfortable uh, in in this class or in these sessions. So let's get started. I kind of want to just jump into it. Let's actually let me start with I don't know all of you, and we'll probably get to know each other as we go. But sometimes what I like to do is one of the core principles of mindfulness is pausing. And pausing before you begin to do something, whether it's answering the phone or whether it's washing the dishes or brushing your teeth. Mindfulness, just the core concept of that is being mindful, and how you can begin being mindful is by pausing before you start something. So I'd like to again pause, and since I don't know you, you know, as I said before, we're going to get to know each other, but I'd like for you to get to know yourselves right now and where you're at this moment. So let's just uh, introduce ourselves to each other, to yourself. So most of you are sitting, it looks like. And if that's what's comfortable, please stay seated. You can stand if you'd like. You can lie down if you'd like, but sitting is fine. I just want to bring out that in mindfulness meditation, you don't have to be seated, but that's one primary position. And so let's get started. So you can close your eyes if you'd like, or you can keep them slightly open, maybe looking down at the floor, and just settle in. Take a few moments to settle. And if you want to take a deep breath, you can. And let's just connect our mind and body together. Notice how our body is feeling. Basically, checking in with yourself. But then notice the weight of your body in the chair, how your back might be pressed against the chair back, how you're seated on your chair cushion, and your feet on the floor and grounded. Allow yourself to be just exactly as you are. And maybe just taking this moment to treat yourself like you're meeting an old friend. And come in and be with that old friend, be with yourself, and basically come home. And ask yourself, what brings me here today? What is, what am I seeking? What is my intention for this session? What is it I'm seeking? What is my intention for this session? And then coming back to the body, maybe the breath, just noticing your breathing. And then open your eyes if they're closed. Notice your surroundings. Ah, and then wiggle your fingers and toes if you like, and be present here and now. And so we just did our first mindfulness meditation together. We paused, we took a moment to become aware of what's going on inside us. So at times, actually, I'll get to the fact of when we're in the clinic and we're waiting for our chemotherapy or our doctor or blood test or something like that. If we just take some moments and ask, what's inside us? What are we feeling? What are we thinking? We just need to be aware of those things. So thank you for that, taking just that few minute. One of my goals is to hopefully we kind of um, create over time a space of presence between us and a connection, even though we're only virtually connected right this minute, we can feel and and be connected as we send each other thoughts of connection. So that's one of my goals. And also, I'm not sure if any of you feel more relaxed or more focused, but I do. So that helps me. All right. So, just a few things about myself. I was born at a very young age, and I was on the block early. I have 6 kids, and I 4 months ago have my 14th grandchild. So I have a lot of grandchildren, and actually that's why I keep working to some degree. Christmas is really expensive. Christmas is pretty expensive. I have experience as a caregiver. My mom had breast cancer. She had it when I was younger, and she was younger. I was 15, and she was in her 40s. And then, actually, 40 years later, she had a second bout with cancer that took her life. And I was able to provide care for her at that time. And then one of my daughters She's actually 42 with 3 kids at home, 10, 7, and 4. She's uh, undergoing cancer treatment for her stage 4 ovarian cancer right now. And I'm in Fort Collins and I'm supporting her while she's going through her cancer treatments. I'm also a cancer survivor. 3 years ago, I had prostate cancer, and I have now, my last checkup, I am disease free, so I'm blessed. And I think that, I have a lot of experience, or I know I have a lot of experience as a nurse. I have 46 years of experience as a nurse, and 24 of those years have been in oncology. I spent 19 and a half years in the Air Force as an Air Force nurse, and then when I retired from the Air Force, I found an oncology job that, you know, essentially changed my life, and I've been in oncology pretty much ever since. About 3 years ago, I decided to do something a little different, though. Um, Instead of retirement, though, I like to say I'm just under new management, and so I'm doing some things that I want to do. Uh, and so that almost brings me to the present moment. Right now, I'm teaching some of these classes at the Cancer Support Community in Dallas, Texas. I work as a volunteer for at a free cancer clinic for underinsured and uninsured patients. And so I'm maintaining my contact with the cancer community. This is the first of 8 sessions, and the material I basically will present or share is based on a book that I have nearby, and called, it's the title of the book is Mindfulness Based Cancer Recovery, and it's written by Linda E. Carlson and Michael Specka. And so, mindfulness based cancer recovery, this is most of the foundation and the evidence based practice that I'm going to be presenting. I also will be using a book, How to Train a Wild Elephant by Jan Chosen. And this is basically also about daily mindfulness practices. So, those are the two things that I'll be sharing with you guys, some information from those two books. The information I think that I hope will be more or just as meaningful is I will share what I've learned from my patients that I've served when I was an oncology nurse navigator. Um, and I've been a hospice nurse and I've been in clinical research. So there's a lot of information that I learned from the patients that I've worked with. Um, we do have some ground rules to cover. Basically, the first rule when we're communicating with each other is to be kind, and longevity is uh, ensuring that we keep what we say to each other confidential. So I think that that's so important for us to feel comfortable to express ourselves. And I think the third rule is basically no crosstalk or no advice giving. If I share that I have a problem, then please, if you have a similar problem, talk about your problem, but please don't maybe say this is what I would do for that, because that's something that we just all will find our own answers for. So the things that I'd like you to consider, they're not ground rules, but they're things that I'd like you to consider, is that this is an 8-week course. And since you've decided to attend this first week, I'd love for you to consider making a commitment to attend all of the 8 sessions. It really makes a difference. I know these are going to be recorded and you'll be able to listen to them also, so that's good. It really makes a difference if we're live and contributing. It again gets that connection between us going. And then the second thing that I'd like to ask for you to consider is to practice. I'm not sure, and we'll get into this, how many people have a mindfulness practice already, but practice really makes what we do stronger. And when we talk about mindfulness, there's a formal practice and an informal practice. The formal practice is taking some time, maybe 5 minutes a day, more if you'd like, and whether it's in the morning, noon, or evening, but just sitting, being still, doing some of the exercises that we'll cover either today, and we'll cover more meditations throughout the following weeks, but doing some of the exercises on an ongoing basis, at least 3 times a week. Studies have shown that doing some type of meditation 3 times a week is very, very beneficial. And the home practice that I'm going to talk to you about are things that, whether we just decide to do the practice I suggest or another practice that you'd like to do, that's fine. We will discuss that and maybe see how that goes. Journaling helps both for your meditation practice as well as your daily informal practice of whatever you do. So I would encourage you to journal so things can be kept fresh in your mind, or you can maybe learn from some of the things that you've experienced during that time frame. Um, I think since, like I said, it's so important for us to connect, I'd love for us to maybe do this real quickly. I'm not sure if Kristen can make this uh, private, but I'd like to know what your favorite non-musical sound is, or what book you're reading now. So give me, I'll give you about 30 seconds to think about that, and then if you guys can jump in and share, I can start off though while you're thinking about it. My favorite uh, non musical sound is baby's laughter or children's laughter. I have a 4-month old grandchild now, as I told you before, and I love hearing her giggle and stuff. But also my 4-year old granddaughter, her laughter is so fun and so spontaneous. So that's my favorite non musical sound. So we want to finish. We want to finish some some points, some important points. And so, what is mindfulness? It looks like or sounds like. And actually, why don't we all, if you want to, just raise your hand if you have a mindfulness practice now or doing something with meditation. Just raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So most of you, and the ones that I can't see, may be doing that. Okay, so that's good. I mean, I want you to know that I'm not going to give you incredibly brand new information, but I'm going to give you information that I have, and that, one of the important key concepts of of mindfulness or meditation in general is to have a beginner's mind and to treat each moment as a new moment because I haven't experienced this moment yet today until this moment. And so we want to approach these lessons hopefully with curiosity, with a beginner's mind. And I think we're all students and we're all teachers. And so I know that I can learn from you, hopefully, as much as I can share and give too. So the formal definition of mindfulness, John Kabat-Zinn, he's the founder of mindfulness stress reduction. He defines mindfulness as the awareness that arises from paying attention in a particular way, basically on purpose, moment to moment, and non-judgmentally. And it is a form of meditation. Mindfulness is a form of it's insight meditation, and so and I think that we can look at that and understand that we will be gaining some information, hopefully, in connecting our mind and body when we become mindful and become aware. So, what I do is I like John Kabat-Zinn definition, but I share some of the things that I learn from some of my patients. So some of the participants in my last class, their definition of mindfulness is conscious awareness of body and surroundings, being in the moment, internally aware of what I'm feeling. So that's three, and I could give you more, but those are the three that kind of I wanted to share because they have a common thread, and the thread is awareness. Living with awareness in our daily lives, we become in touch with what nourishes us. And that's what I started off with is as you practice mindfulness, you are going to become better friends with yourself. You'll know yourself more and you'll know who you are. And mindfulness is really hard to separate mindfulness and compassion. Compassion for ourselves is so important. And when we understand that sometimes we are hard on ourselves and judge ourselves really harshly, maybe we can do some things about it. We can do some things about it. So self-compassion, compassion to others, it all ties into mindfulness, how we treat each other. I guess the main ground rule that if we have to have rules at all is I want us all to be kind. We want to be kind to each other, but be kind to ourselves. And if we go there, we got this. We got this journey, you know? So a lot of major organizations and businesses are now training their leaders and their employees in mindfulness. And mindfulness is now being offered in hospitals and in clinics. And that's exciting. That's really exciting because study after study, and mindfulness is being studied so much nowadays in meditation. But mindfulness training really profoundly affects every aspect of our lives, our bodies, our minds, our physical health, and our emotional and spiritual well-being. So I call it living with wellness, I guess, because this has helped me focus on getting through my cancer journey And I think that mindfulness can help us get through the cancer journey in a better way, improve our quality of life. But I think when I was working with patients as a nurse navigator, they basically had taught me that some of the things, resources they had was their family and their friends and their faith. All of those three things were really, really important to them and helped them get by. But obviously, their medical team. Um, but some of the things that they didn't realize was they have this tool about mindfulness that they can get in touch with who they are and not let this thing called cancer define them or conquer them. That's what it's all about. Living with lung cancer, living with and moving forward in a positive way. That's what we can do. And mindfulness is such an important tool to help us do that. Um, I, some people call it a skill, some people call it a talent. I actually call it a superpower. I really do, because it can be developed. And and basically, when you ask this question, how do I live with lung cancer? Or how do I live with cancer? How do I get through this? It can help answer that question, I think. So, physically speaking, it can help us, I don't know, decrease fatigue. It helps sometimes with our sleep problems. It lowers our blood pressure, our cortisol levels. It can improve our mood, decrease anxiety. Those are the things that maybe you've already found and experienced, you know? But let's just do a breathing exercise. We're going to be doing a breathing exercise and then we'll be going into a body scan. I'll ring a bell to begin and end, and we'll just go through this for probably 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes. So let's begin. So if you'd like, go ahead and close your eyes, but just settle into your seat and take just a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And notice as the breath comes in through your nose, how your lungs expand, maybe your abdomen, how your belly softens when you exhale. And if you can, just for a couple more breaths, maybe make your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. Just breathing in and then breathing out. And breathing out for a little bit longer just allows our body to relax a little bit more. And so return to your normal breathing, but still pay attention to the breath, the in breath and the out breath. And now just bring your attention actually to your feet, to how they're connected to the floor. If you're wearing shoes, maybe the weight of your shoes. You're wearing socks, just the warmth of your socks, the cloth touching your feet. Whatever that connection is with the ground, you're supported, connected. And then examine your toes and notice any sensations, any numbness or tingling, or no sensations at all, just your toes. But let's look and notice in between your toes. Do your best to notice in between your toes. And then the tops of your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, any sensation at all. Just notice, let it be there. Welcome it. Bring your attention to your thighs, your lower abdomen and pelvis. Notice any tension or any sensation. Maybe you're hungry and you notice growling. Whatever there is, just notice. And then your upper abdomen, your belly, as you're breathing in, belly rises, breathing out, your belly softens. Notice your chest, the rising of your chest, falling of your chest. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice your shoulders, your arms. Notice that. Take some time. Shoulders where maybe where you keep some tension. Soften them if they're not softened already. Relax your arms and your hands. Notice your hands. the palms of your hands, and the tops of your hands. Notice them. Feel them. And then examine the inside of those your fingers too. Let's just notice your face and your neck. Your chin, your jaw, any tightness around your forehead or eyes, any tightness in your neck. Just notice that. Be with it. You can come back to it if you need to. And we've connected our mind and body. And one other thing, let's notice our heart. And place one hand over your heart if you'd like, or both hands over your heart. And again, be with you. Be what's inside. And probably while we've been going through this, there's other thoughts that have been going through your mind, what you didn't do before you came here, or what you have to do after this next session, after this session. And that's okay. That's what happens. The mind has a voice of its own, and it'll always kind of pop in there. But as long as you bring yourself back gently and non-judgmentally to your anchor, either the breath or to the body or whatever you were focusing on, then that just is practice, and that is mindfulness. You're aware of your mind, where your mind is, and you bring it back to where your focus should be. Okay, as we close this session, just open your eyes if they're closed and just get familiar with surroundings. All right. So, those are the two things that we do in mindfulness, primarily meditation. There's other things as sessions go on. I'll give you some guided meditations that will maybe help you get in touch more with some of the things that are going on with you in your cancer journey. But I think that you all, ones who've already have a meditation practice, have done a breathing exercise and have done a body scan. But we'll go through that. I think one of the other things that I'll really stress is that exercise is important, but it doesn't have to be running a marathon or doing a triathlon or anything like that. It can be gentle yoga. It can be walking. We will do some walking meditations together. We'll do an eating meditation together. We'll do some things if you want to put things in the chat and I'll look at them, some other kind of meditations together. But I think it's so, so important because I'm not sure if I've stressed this enough. Practice. Practice your formal meditation and practice the informal meditation. Now, the informal meditation, the home practice that I'm going to give you is, like I said, based on how to train a wild elephant. And the first exercise is use your non dominant hand. sometime during the day, 2 or 3 times during the day, how often if you want, however many times you would like, just use your non-dominant hand. And if you can do it every day, fine. If you want to do it 3 days a week, like I said, fine. It's all up to you. The more practice, the stronger you get, both in formal meditation and informal meditation. When we talk about, and maybe you have already done, mindfully brushing your teeth, mindfully drinking some tea or coffee, mindfully eating. All of those things are things that we combine and changes how we look at things. We are more aware of things. We mindfully drive. We mindfully can open the door before we go out the door. And those are things that then we notice the shades of green instead of just kind of automatically walking to our car, getting to our car, and going to that appointment we have, or to that, whatever you call it, a place of work. I remember that, a place of work. Um, so anyway, I'm just joking, but I think that we can do things, and if we choose to be more mindful in our everyday life, we really improve and change the quality of our life. We really do. So, questions, real quick. We only have a few more minutes. Um, any questions? Just raise your hand and jump out there if you'd like.
And I just have a question. If you plan for the like non-sitting meditation, could we get a sense of the schedule? Just as I do mine from work, which is okay. I just have to plan differently if we, need to walk or do other activities.
Okay. I will send an email to Kristen, I guess, and she can notify everybody.
Yeah, that would be great. If you can send me an email, I'll make sure to put it in the email that I send with the link to join.
Okay. So next week we're going to do an Indian meditation. So be warned. Okay. Any other questions? Thanks for that question. And how about any comments on today's session?
It
It
was
was
good.
wonderful. I put it in the chat. I'm really relaxed. I really enjoyed it. Your voice is very soothing. I loved everything about it, and I'm happy to be here and continue with the course. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, folks, for sharing your time with me. I know your time is valuable, and I know you probably have other things to go to and be somewhere. So I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Ben. And everyone, please remember that our next Mindful Monday will be at the same time next Monday. And then we also have our coffee talk meetup that will be starting in about 7 minutes. So we would love for you all to join that as well. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your Monday. And if you're listening into this webinar at a later time, have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Kristen.
everyone.
Everybody
Bye,
have a good
everyone.
one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.